This is the Political Spotlight.
The political spotlight is a joke. It's more like a political flop.
Nobody listens to Bilbrey.
He's just a wannabe podcaster. No one takes him seriously.
He is a rude, crude dude that will never go any further than broadcasting from his mother's basement.
Bilbrey is a wrecking ball for Indiana politicians.
Grab another box of Twinkies and generic cola, Bilbrey,
And get back to your microphone and your audience of nobodies.
The political
Nobody
spotlight is
listens to
a joke.
He is like a rude, crude dude that will never go
Bilbrey's a wrecking ball for Indiana politics. Shut that stupid Bilbrey up.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. This is the 662nd episode of the Political Spotlight. I am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. Producer Kate is down at the controls for the moment. Just to let everybody know, there will be a point in time this evening in which we will be losing her. I don't know when that'll be, but I will let you guys know. So if things go wonky with comments or whatnot, ladies and gentlemen, that will be happening. She is at least here for the moment. And so that's that. I won't go into detail, but they have a personal thing going on, family-wise, friend-wise, kind of dealing with the military. And so thoughts and prayers for her and her family and the things they've got going on over there. I do want to say we were not here last night. And so I feel like it's probably, we try to honor this when we are aware. It's sometimes harder than others knowing. We don't always know because there's different people here, but we do have somebody that's a little bit more than just a regular, just a viewer, somebody that we know. And we wanted to say a very, 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 very special happy birthday to Admiral Eric. I think he turned 17 last night, so this is a belated birthday. And we wanted to wish him a very happy 17th birthday, Admiral Eric. And as we do here, there's really only one way that we wish someone a happy birthday here. And so let her rip. And away we go.
Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday,
And he deserves that. Matter of fact, I think we're going to do that again because it was in hyperspeed the first time. So we'll let her rip one more time.
Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday,
That's my favorite part, when it just goes off there at the end, like it cuts it off in the middle. That's such a weird ass fever dream. So happy birthday, Admiral Eric. Thank you for being a viewer and being a friend and everything else in between. So wonderful. I've never seen that. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a good little birthday thing that we do here. If you are out there and you, a lot of people, we know your birthday because of Facebook, but if there's anybody out there that wants to be, things to happen, let us know you or your significant other's birthdays, and we will attempt to get that. Okay, so first off, I want to say I apologize. We were not here last night, and this week, it's been a little haphazard. As I said to you the other night, I don't know if everyone caught this or not, but the other day, I officially moved. As any of you that have been watching for any length of time have been aware that we moved the studio. The studio is at a new, different location, but I have officially moved. It's been a minute, but we're now getting things done, and this week we've been moving some last minute. Some of the bigger things that we've been kind of delaying moving and getting moved. And so we've been doing that the last couple of days. And I will tell you what, it has just absolutely kicked my butt. I've been moving with having a couple different people helping me move. And it's like when those people, it's almost like, even though we've had like 4 or 5 people helping, it's like with those people, the specific people that have been helping me, it's almost like it's been like a detriment because it's been such a shit show. So it's definitely been a process, and we are just about finished with all of that. So I apologize for that. But with the political season having just wrapped up for the May primary, we had been going hot and heavy, and so it's okay to take a couple nights off. We also have, like I said, been communicating with the gentleman from up in Hobart. Unfortunately, we've not been able to reconnect since I spoke to him the other night. I know that he's being inundated right now by people. I know he's probably talking to attorneys, so I'm letting him deal with all of that, and we're going to try to get him on. I think that's something that's probably important to let him go through that process and do what he needs to do. Again, I just absolutely hate it because, I just think back, if the situation that I was in Winchester would have happened just a couple years later, it would have been such a much bigger deal. And it's just so strange how different times and timelines, things happen like they're supposed to, but it's very interesting. So I'm happy for people that are having this happen. We're seeing these type of things happen. I'm happy that these things are being caught on video now. It's helping bring outrage to situations like this. And speaking of which, what we're going to be talking about tonight, and what pretty much the focus of the entire show is going to be about, is a situation with the Delaware County government, the Delaware County Commissioners. And it's quite likely that something crazy could happen like that Monday morning, because of the way that the let me see here. Do I? That's weird. Okay. Does it still sound bad? Kate, does it still sound as bad, like hollow, or is it better? Did it go up? Okay, all right. Kate's letting me know the audio was sounding a little funky there. I apologize. But no, there's a possibility, because of the way that Delaware County government runs their situation, their meetings, that we could be in a situation like that here locally. And so we hope that's not going to be the case. We will find that out, and I guess we'll have to come together and do what we have to do. So we are going to be talking in tonight's show. We are going to be talking about the upcoming Delaware County Commissioners meeting. We're going to be talking about the what I consider to be or will be the public hearing section. So for a couple days now, there have been several people that have been sharing a public notice that went out in the newspaper back last week. I think it went out either on election day or the day after. And it kind of took a minute to pick up some steam. We're going to post this here on the Steam. Yeah, it went out. It actually went out on Monday the 4th. And so I want to read this to you here so you are aware. This was in the Star Press. It's a government public notice. Notice to taxpayers of hearing on the proposed establishment of the Cumulative Capital Development Fund. Notice is hereby given to the taxpayers of Delaware County, Indiana, that the Delaware County Commissioners, which are 3 Republicans, it will be Sherry Riggin, it will be Stephen Brand, and Shannon Henry, Sherry Riggin, Stephen Brand. I always get those 3 mixed up. Shannon Henry is always the odd one out. So they're all 3 Republicans. Okay, they will consider at 100 West Main Street, Muncie, Indiana, at 9:00 on May 18th. That's this coming Monday. The establishment of a Cumulative Capital Development Fund under the provisions of Indiana Code 36-914.5 for the purpose as follows: for all uses as set out in Indiana Code 36-914.5. We will take a look at those here in a second. The tax will be levied on all taxable real and personal property within the taxing district and will not exceed 0.0167 per $100 of assessed valuation for taxes due and payable in the year 2027, and 0.0333 cents per $100 of assessed valuation for the taxes due and payable in the year 2028 and thereafter, continuing until reduced or rescinded. That's laughable. Taxpayers appearing at such hearing shall, that's important, the word shall, taxpayers appearing at such hearing shall have the right to be heard thereon. The proposed tax rate for the Cumulative Capital Development Fund is subject to certification by the Department of Local Government and Finance. Within 30 days after the date of the adoption of a cumulative fund by the Delaware County Commissioners, the Delaware County Commissioners will publish a notice of adoption. Upon publication of the notice of adoption, 25 or more taxpayers in the taxing district may file a petition with the Delaware County Auditor not later than noon, 30 days after the publication of the notice of adoption, setting forth their objection to the proposed fund. Dated this 4th day of May 2026, Delaware County Commissioners, May 6th. I don't know what that's saying there. Let me get rid of that. May 6, 13, 2026, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that must be the other days when they're going to run it. Okay, so that is basically a lot of legalese. And it's a lot of mumbo jumbo unless, you're a lawyer. Or you're a nerd, basically. I mean, it's a lot of nothing, and so we have to take a look at what this is. And basically, I've been seeing people posting all kinds of things all over social media for the last 2 or 3 days, and I've wanted to kind of set the record straight on what's happening, what this is. Moreover, what the public can do, the people at large, the citizens of Delaware County, the people here in Muncie, in Eaton, in Albany, all of us, okay, what we can do to express our feelings about this, whether you're supportive of this or you're not supportive of this. I think it's important that we all be heard. And the big problem here for me is the same problem that a lot of people have. So first thing is first. Everybody posting about this, first thing they say is, it's at 9:00. We're all at work. How are we supposed to show up and gripe about this? Why isn't this happening in the daytime? Okay. And Delaware County, from what only has a coverage fund, not a cap fund. Okay. All right. That's what I thought. I thought that was right. We'll talk about that. Kate was looking something up and sending something to me here from a conversation we were having earlier in the day. And we will talk about that here in just a moment. Thank you for that, Kate. So essentially, I've had a couple conversations with a couple different people today because people are wanting to know like what they can do, how we can fight this. And let me tell you, I'm seeing a bunch of people that are out there posting, who's got the petition started? Where's the petition? I'll sign the petition. Nada. Don't waste your time. Listen. Maybe in a couple days we can worry about that. That is not the big deal right now. A petition is not. Look, I told somebody else this on the phone today. I wasn't around and fighting in the 70s. I don't know if maybe petitions worked in the 60s and the 70s, but it's not the 60s and the 70s anymore. They're not working. Okay, they don't work. It doesn't work. It's not working. They're not going to do anything. Do not waste your time on petitions. Here's what you need to be spending your time doing. It is 9:20 p.m. at the time I'm broadcasting these words right now, 9:20 p.m. on Thursday, May 14th. Okay, it's Thursday evening. Tomorrow's Friday. The next day is Saturday. The following day is Sunday. And then Monday is the 4th day. So what that means is we've got 3 full days. We've got all of Friday, all of Saturday, and all of Sunday. And then we've got a couple hours tonight, and we've got, maybe a handful of some weird minutes and an hour or so Monday morning to convince people to show their asses up at the county building in downtown Muncie on Monday morning. That is what everybody needs to be working on. You need to share this video, share the link, share the YouTube link, not the Facebook link. Share the YouTube link. You need to share the post. You need to share your thoughts. And we have to go to this meeting. And someone said, well, what's the magic number? I can't tell you. I can't tell you what the magic number is. I will tell you this. I will tell you this. 5 is not enough. 10 is not enough. 20 is not enough. 40 is not enough. Okay. We need 300. We need 500. We need 1,200. Okay. We need them to have to shut the meeting down and have to reschedule it. Okay. We need to show up and show out. I talk to people about this, and everybody always acts like I'm crazy when I say that. But here's the thing. It depends on what you care about. It depends on what you think is important. It depends on what you care about. If you care about this and you're pissed off like everybody is posting about it, then show up. Because honestly, just posting on Facebook but not showing up and not doing anything else to tell people to show up, you're not really doing anything. And that doesn't really do anything. We have got to show up, okay? And that's the thing. I talked to somebody today and I said, do you remember the Whale Sustainable product thing that happened back in 2019? And the person was like, no, I don't recall that. And I'm like, what? That's crazy to me. Where can I find the letter, Chris? Okay, so Jeremy Millsap, if you go to the Star Press, by the way, Jeremy, I got your message the other day. Thank you for your message. I got that. I do read it, and I meant to text you back, but I didn't. So, but I just wanted to tell you I did get that, and I thought that was funny, and I'm sure you're shedding a tear. That's all I'll say about that, as to not out you or anything like that. But I'm sure you're shedding a tear for what you text me. But what I would do, Jeremy, is matter of fact, I'll tell you what to do. If you text me, if you shoot a text to me at some point when you get a chance, now or later this evening, if you shoot me a text, I will send it to you in text message, so there's no question. It's in the Star Press. It should be in the Star Press, and there should be no problem. Hello, Troy. Hello, Troy. Welcome, brother. I hope you're doing well and having a good spring and enjoying your new get up out there. So the first thing I want to do, so here's what we're going to do. As Stumblefoot said, we're going to go over what we have to do in order to people speak, and I'm going to talk about what my issue is and what my problem is with I think how the Delaware County government is going to attempt to run this meeting, and if so, we should have a problem with this, and so I will explain this. Okay. So first and foremost, I want to talk about. Okay, Kate also put the notice there in the chat, so I appreciate Kate doing that. That's fantastic. Thank you. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take a look at the Indiana code that they were referencing in that public document. Okay, and so want to go back here, and we're going to pull this up. Okay. And I just want to, this is, so Indiana Code, Title 36, Local Government, Transportation and Public Works Chapter, 14.5, County Cumulative Capital Development Fund. Okay. Application of chapter, authorization of fund, purpose, and then repealed, tax levy, rate of tax, repealed, cumulative capital development fund, transfer between funds, expenditures. So I'm going to click on this. Application applies to all counties. I'm going to bring this up here so you guys can see this. So you can see what we're looking at here. This is going to be a little bit in the weeds for a moment. Just bear with me, and then we'll get into what really matters. But I want you guys to see this and understand what it is that we're looking at here, because I think people need to know this is important. So it'll be just a little dry for one moment, and then we'll get heavy into like the meeting and what my thoughts are and everything there. Okay, so here is the application of chapter. All right, so 36914.5-1 basically just says this chapter applies to all counties. Grand. That's wonderful and special. Thank you. That's great. We love it. All right, next. We'll roll next. Okay. The county legislative body, that's the commissioners, may establish a cumulative capital development fund under IC 6-1.1-41 to provide money for any purpose for which property taxes may be imposed within the county under the authority of, and then they've got a bunch of IC codes which basically give them the authority to enact the tax, raise the tax, collect the tax. That's basically what that is. We're not going to go through all of those. You can find this yourself by simply going to Indiana Code 36-9-14.5 if you want to read through all of those. We don't need to do all of that. This is just saying basically the county legislative body, and it's weird because the commissioners are both the executive / legislative body. It's kind of funky, but that's how it rolls. All right, moving on. Okay, this was looks like this was repealed, so there's nothing really under this. Moving on. Okay, nothing under here. This part was repealed, nothing under here. Okay, then we get down to here. Okay, this is section 6. A county fiscal body, that's the council, may provide money for the Cumulative Capital Development Fund by levying a tax in compliance with Indiana Code 6-1.1-41 on the taxable property in the county. For purposes of this section, a county in which only the county economic development income tax was in effect on January 1, 2016, is considered a county in which the local income tax is not effective unless the county increases after 2015 the allocation of its local income tax revenue, property tax relief, public safety, or certified shares by the amount that is at least equal to the revenue raised from the income tax rate of 0.25%. The maximum property tax rate that may be imposed for property taxes first due and payable during a particular year in the county in which the local income tax is in effect on January 1 of that year depends upon the number of years the county has previously imposed a tax under the chapter and is determined under the following table. Okay, and then here they have the figures. Now, this is important, okay? And this is important right here. The valuation is 0.167 and 0.0333. Yeah, okay, that. So what that means is, all right, and I'm not a big math whiz, and you don't really have to be a big math whiz, but just follow me here for a moment, okay? This is important. We were talking about this earlier, and I had somebody message me and ask about this, and they said that they feel like there are a lot of people that are using flawed math when they're calculating the tax burden on their property, and I think that people are. Here's the thing: I think people are worried. I think people are thinking that this is going to be a lot worse than it could be. But let me tell you, when times are tough and it's hard to survive right now with what people have, people don't need any more tax. We don't need to be paying the government anything more that's going to stretch our dollars and not have them at home where they belong with our families. Okay. So I want to be clear on this. A $100,000 home would cost taxpayers $16.70 on the 0.0167. So that's what you would pay with this tax. It would cost you $16.70, and it would cost $33.33 on the other. Okay. Now, there are current elected officials who are currently candidates running for office, specifically speaking, Matt Kantz, who's saying, this is no big deal. Well, I don't understand why everybody's freaking out. The county needs this. I say to Mr. Kantz, why do we not do this? And why don't you guys learn to live within your means? Okay? We don't need more money. The county doesn't need more money. I'm speaking of the county. The county doesn't need more money. We as citizens don't need to fork over more cash, be it $16 or $33 or $133 or $3,000, whatever it is. We need to learn to live within our means. Learn to say no when the people come in with their hands out. Okay, and we're going to go over some of these comments being made by people here in just a minute. Okay, I'm going to get through this real quick here. All right, so moving on. The next part was repealed. Okay, the next part takes us down to 14.5-8. Okay, the tax money collected under this chapter shall be held in a special fund to be known as the Cumulative Capital Development Fund. Now, this is important. In a county having a consolidated city, money may be transferred from the fund to the fund of the department of the consolidated city responsible for carrying out purposes for which a cumulative capital development fund was created. The department may not expend any money so transferred until its appropriation is made, and the department may not expend any money so transferred for operating costs of the department. Money held in the Cumulative Capital Development Fund may be spent for purposes other than the purposes stated in Section 2 of this chapter if the purposes is to protect the public health, welfare, safety in an emergency situation that demands immediate action, or to contribute to an authority established under 36(7)23. Money may be spent under the authority of this subsection only after the county executive issues a declaration that a public health, welfare, or safety is in immediate danger that requires the expenditure of money in the fund, certifies the minutes of the county executive that the money is contributed to the authority for capital development purposes. Okay? Now, I want you guys to know that there is and that's the end. So that's the end of it. All right. If you want to look into that and dive into that more and go down the rabbit hole of looking at all the other IC codes, we've put it there. You can do it. Get a hold of me. I'll let you know where this is, and we can break that down a little bit further, but I'm not going to do that here. That's really getting into the weeds. I'm putting this out here to say this. There is a rumor that's been going around today, just since last night, today basically, that is saying the county's doing this because they're wanting to do some major overhauls with the current downtown Delaware County building, the old Delaware County building at 100 West Main Street, where the commissioners meet, where the entire county government used to be downtown. And they're needing to do some major overhauls to the new Justice Center out on Tillotson. And that's why a lot of this has happened. Now, that's just rumor, all right? I'll be honest. It's one of those things that I generally wouldn't say. I generally wouldn't talk about that. Okay? Because I don't have a lot of information plugging it in, letting you know that's true. But I am hearing it from enough people and some of the right people that's making me think there must be something to this. Okay? So I'm going to talk a little bit about what I think is going on and my anger about that here in a minute. But I really want to get this out here in the first part of the show here, early on. They want to do things. They don't need to do things. That's exactly right. Like, we don't need to do all this flock bullshit. We don't need the drones. The drones are a wonderful. Listen, if we are out here and everything is hunky dory and we are living in just total bliss and the taxes are low and everyone's happy and we don't have a bunch of chaos going on, maybe we can do some extra things that are funsy stuff, things that are like help Big Brother and the police, do their jobs. But when things are tight, maybe we don't need to be doing all these extra, frilly foo-foo things. You know what I mean? So the Delaware County Commissioners meetings, okay? They are different than the Muncie City Council meetings. They're different than Anderson City Council meetings or Winchester City Council meetings. They're different even than, they're even different than the Delaware County Council meetings. What do I mean when I mean that? Well, first off, okay, like a lot of other government entities, they hold these meetings at 9 o'clock in the morning. And they do that because they claim, well, all of the employees are already here and it makes it easier. We don't have to pay them overtime. We don't have to have them come in. And that's nonsense, first off, because these people, most of them are salary and you could work around that and we could figure this out. Yes, like pay for new court administrator. Yeah, right. I hope they're not paying the new court administrator hundreds of millions of thousands of dollars the way they were wanting to pay Emily. That would have been insane. It was insane to pay her that much. And I'm certainly hoping they're not paying the new guy that, because the new guy's definitely not worth it. I'll say this. The meetings in Delaware County are ran in such a way that citizens are not the main priority. Okay. Brand, Henry, and Sherry Riggin, their point of doing everything they do is, one, to get the meeting done in under an hour. Okay. Sherry just told us that. We have her on record bitching about that during a meeting, during an open meeting. It's not like she was even just telling people that behind the scenes. She was saying this during a meeting for all of us to hear. At least they were saying the loud part, the quiet part out loud. So she was saying, we shouldn't be here longer than an hour. This stuff needs to be getting done in an hour or less. Okay. So that's a problem to me straight off the bat. No. We're not trying to fit the work into an hour. We have work to do. And sometimes it might take 20 minutes. And sometimes it might take 58 minutes. And sometimes it might take 3 hours. But you're going to sit there and you're going to do the work because that's what you ran for. No one asked you to. No one told you to. No one demanded that you do it. No one held a gun to your head. You ran because you wanted to be somebody. Now you're somebody. This is the biggest issue that I have. In literally every meeting that I've ever been to, one of two things happens. Either they have a sign-in sheet that is used solely to hold your place in line. For example, if I get to the meeting place first and I sign up, when they get to public comments, they will call me first. That way I don't have to sit through 5 other people talking if I don't want to as a citizen. But those same people will also allow that sign-up sheet to be brought up front, and they will go through the names on the sign-up sheet. And when they get to the last name on the sign-up sheet and they read the last name, Jane Doe, and Jane Doe gets up and speaks, they will then do this. Is there anyone out in the audience that did not get to sign up or that would like to speak or has something to say that they didn't otherwise know? And they will allow those people come, first serve. Okay? And that's the way it should be. That's a good way to do it. Some places, however, want you to sign up because they feel like they can make you sign up. They feel like in order to speak, you must give your name. Some places want you to give your address. Some places want you to give your phone number and all this other nonsense. That's the big thing that was going on up in Hobart. That's why I really, really want to have this guy on, because it's really pertinent to what we're talking about now. That's why I always say, people always say, you need to talk about national stuff because it garners more attention and it speaks to more people all over the place. And I'm like, I get it. But this local stuff, even when something happens in a local rat hole city that no one has ever heard of, and we talk about it, just because that city's not your city, the situation can happen in your area. And looking at how other places handled it and how the pieces moved, that can be beneficial for your neck of the woods. That's why it's very important. Okay. Moving on. I'm worried that they are going to run this like they have tried running the meetings in the last at least 2 years. And that is the first meeting that Stephen Brand was a sitting commissioner in. I went to go speak. And I got to the meeting like 5 minutes late. The meeting started at 9:00. I got there. I was in the building at 9:00, but I was being like, shake down up front, and they were looking to see if somebody had packed my luggage for me or whatever, and if I had a little container of bottles, whatever, as I went through the magnetometer and all that. And by the time I got up to the 3rd floor, I looked for the sign-in sheet, and it was gone. And I was like, oh, they picked it up already. So then I went and I sat through the meeting. I got there before they even got into doing anything serious. Okay? Yeah, right. Bilbrey time. And they got down to public comments, 2-hour-long meeting. Okay? And hello there, Brenda. And they get down to the last name, and they call the last person. The last person gets up and speaks, and then sits down, and then immediately they say, "Okay, well, we're going to adjourn the meeting." And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! I got something. I came in late. I got something I'd like to say." And Commissioner Shannon Henry said, "Well, you didn't sign up. You need to come back next meeting." And I'm like, "No, that's nonsense. That's nonsense. I'm not going to come back next meeting. I have something that needs to be said during this meeting. You guys need to hear it. I'm here." And he said, "You got to sign up before 9 o'clock." Okay, so let me get this straight. First off, your meeting is the most ridiculous time ever. And you're telling me that if there is a citizen, a single mom, who has something she really needs to address with you, she's got 2 kids, one that goes to the elementary, one that goes to the high school, and she's dropping them off at different buildings, and she's trying to get up here, but because she doesn't get up here before you pull up an arbitrary piece of paper that you're telling her she can't speak. She sat here, she got here at 4 after 9, and she sat through all this nonsense, and she stood to speak, and you're not going to let her speak? And he doubled down on it. So that's why I'm telling probably took time off work, absolutely. Maybe has a babysitter because she's got one that's not in school, so she had to get a babysitter to sit at home with the baby. So that is my fear about how they're going to run this meeting. Okay, I have a fear that this is what's going to happen, and I'm trying to let everybody know. You have to be very careful, because this is what they're going to attempt to do. If we're not careful here, okay, if we don't watch what's happening, and we don't really push them and push back against them, then this is a serious issue. Okay? So I want to show you guys something. All right. This is where I really started seeing a bunch of people talking about this. Okay. And you're not going to be able to see this very well. All right. I'm just going to have to walk you through it. Okay. So this was a post, and listen, I try my best to not do this. I try my best to not post up just private people's comments and things like that, or I try to block them out. But I'm not doing that on this one because of a couple of reasons. Number one, they posted this to social media. So they put this out there. These people put this out there on blast for everyone to see. Anyone could see this information. Okay? So that's that. Number two, this is a very serious situation, and I feel like we need to know. So this person says, did anyone see this today? It's in the news, more property taxes. And I want to be clear, if there's people out there that don't know, that's what we're talking about. The Delaware County Commissioners are talking about implementing a new property tax against us. Property tax. Isn't property tax theft? Isn't property tax supposed to be going away? Isn't that something that Braun was supposed to work on and Beckwith was taken care of and J.D. Prescott was storming the beaches of Normandy to save us from property taxes? Except, that didn't really happen.
And the fun part about this one is schools can levy property taxes.
Yep.
Well, what do you have to do to get that? Don't the people vote on that?
The referendum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People vote for that.
Yeah.
So yes, this is a worthwhile thing for the school. Yes, we want to pay these property taxes. This one, 3 people vote for it.
3 people vote. And really 2 people vote. Really it takes 2 people. A third person could say, I'm not into it. I don't want to do it. And they could vote no. But as long as 2 people, okay. See, Kate. As long as 2 people, Kate's bowing out, everyone. So just FYI, we're gonna get a little bit more bumpy around here. Just to let you know. But that's all right because this is primarily just talking, so that's all that matters. Okay, so I want you guys. Hello there, Don. I want you guys to just understand that I'm a conservative. I'm a constitutionally minded individual. And I am pissed off to high heaven that we have 3 Republicans that are pushing this gleefully. They want it. They need it. We need it. They want it. And then we have 7 other Republicans on the council that are going to be pushing for it. Push. No. You can't say vote for anyone but Kantz. You specifically have to say vote for Ken Mace. Okay? Ken Mace is Kant's challenger in November. I'm going to tell you right now, we cannot have a Brand Kantz County double up. Just can't do it. We can't do it. It can't happen. All right. Just I'm seeing too much that's too scary. So I want to come down here to some of these comments. And oh, hey, no problem. I appreciate that. I saw that. Let me see here. Let me see. Yeah. That's probably true. That's probably very true. I guarantee you there's a part of that that's very true. Yeah, I guarantee that. That's fine. I didn't think about that. I didn't even think about that either, talking about all of this and seeing that. Okay. So we see someone say, is this the government's attempt to drive everybody out of their homes so they can bulldoze them for the data centers? You know, we see some good comments, then we see some crazy comments, then we see some, we see, you know, all over the place. But I want to show you the common theme. We need to organize as a community like others have and fight back. We do not need this garbage. Okay. I don't know what Yellow Flower 9573 is talking about. I don't know if they're talking about the data centers. Okay. Let's fight that bridge when we get to it. Right now we're talking about this tax. All right. And when people are talking about organizing, I don't know what that means. We don't need to organize. Here's all we need to do. Call in half a day Monday and go to this meeting. I'm telling you. Do you want me to tell you? I've got the key. I can tell you right now how we stop this. We can stop it if the citizens of Delaware County listen to what I say. Start sending this out. Start tweeting this. Start posting this. 1,200. 1,200. Hashtag 1,200. We need 1,200 people to show up Monday morning. Don't tell me you got to work. Don't tell me you got this, or you got to go, you got to stand in line for a new video game coming out, or you're too tired because you played up and you got stoned and played video games all night. Listen, there comes a point where you got to shit or get off the pot. All right? These people will post about wanting a revolution and we've got to burn it down and we've got to take over. And then I say, okay, fantastic. The revolution starts at 9 o'clock Monday morning at the Delaware County building. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't go to that. Okay, well, listen, if you can't get to a meeting and sit there and speak out, if we can't get 400 people to show up to a meeting, the revolution is moot. It's a moot point. It's a non-starter. There's no reason to even discuss it. Don't even say it. Don't make yourself look foolish. Yes, I want revolution. I want to burn it down. We're going to start all over. We're going to rebuild this from the ground up. All right, I need you to go to a meeting on Monday. Oh, I can't do that. Well, if you can't go to a meeting on Monday morning, you probably can't do what it takes to be revolty. You know what I mean? Just letting you know, okay? And listen, everybody's got to do what they got to do. I understand. Going to meetings isn't for everybody. If you're somebody that, but here's the problem. I say that, and then everybody says, "Well, I'm more of a make phone calls from a phone bank at home." No, listen, 1,200 people. So I want to see it. I don't care if you like me or dislike me, or you hate me. You think I am just total dog shit bad guy. I want to see the people of Delaware County putting 1,200. 1,200. We need 1,200 people to show up. If 1,200 people show, we could ask for anything. If 1,200 people show up to that meeting, that'll move the dial. If 20 people show up, we're going to be paying this tax in 2026 or 2027, 2028. Just getting you ready. Go ahead and save that $33 back already. Just letting you know. Absolutely, Jeremy. Absolutely. So I want you guys to listen to this. If this is what they're doing, then they could just change the cost of taxes on an acre of farmland. That's fixed amount. Data centers are going in that type of land. That number actually went down from last year and stayed the same, lower tax rate. Okay, where's Tom Green says, where's the petition? I'll sign it. The petition's at the council, at the commissioners meeting. Here's the thing. Show up to the meeting. You don't need to sign a petition. You need to show up to the meeting. I'll have a petition at the meeting. You can sign, you can when you sign in to speak, you can sign the petition at the same time. It's very easy. I just filed an appeal last week. In the last 2 years, they've raised our taxes over $200,000. No improvements nor any structures added. Okay? It's insane. Raise your taxes $200,000, raise your AV, because your tax hasn't gone up but $600 since 2020, payable 2021, plus you're in MTPL, and it appears you added a pool after you bought it. So that changes things a bit. And now you have, and here, this is what I think is funny. So Susan got on here with her name. An anonymous participant got on here as anonymous participant and looked Susan's stuff up. This is the reason why I don't like the idea of giving your name at meetings. Because people don't need to be knowing your shit to look your shit up if you don't want to, and I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. So don't go anywhere. All right. We're going to talk about that. It was planned. This is why everybody's assessment on their properties doubled and everybody's paying more in property taxes. This is the thing. Senate Bill 1, these jokers are going around and saying 53% of Hoosiers' taxes went down. It's a Christmas miracle. 53% of all Hoosiers' taxes went down. You know what 53 sounds like? 53% sounds like a very strange way to say 47% of people's taxes didn't go down. You're spelling 47% wrong. When Micah is out here and Rod Bray and Houston are out here saying 53% of Hoosiers' taxes went down. That's kind of like the old playing the Led Zeppelin record and the Beatles records backwards and getting like the Hail Satan, stuff that they allegedly did. It's backmasking. When Micah Beckwith says 53% of Hoosiers' property taxes have dropped, the backmasking on that says 47% are still getting screwed. 47% are still getting screwed. That's a lot of people. Alva says, you have approximately 1,300 people in Delaware County. You can't tell me there's not 1,000 of you that can't attend this month's meeting. Yes. 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 That is absolutely right. Oh, yeah, Jeremy. Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I love the people that listen here are amazing. Let me look at some more of these, okay? Okay, let's look here. New homeowner here. I don't understand any of this. What do I need to do? Please advise me. Let me be at the meeting before. I've got the spinning ball of death. Be at the meeting before 9 o'clock. Monday. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. Amanda says, I'll sign a petition for sure. This is BS. Our assessment went up $29,000 for some reason. It says improvements. However, we haven't done any in 2 years. I'm so sick of paying people more and more with no increase in income. Explain how one used to be able to provide for a household, and now two working making 20 plus are still struggling. Rant over, just irritating. No. Okay. Let me be very clear. The rant isn't over. The rant is just starting. And for all these people saying that, that's what bothers me. That's the easy way out of this. I'll just sign a petition and I'll let someone else go fight my fight. Here's the problem. In this line of work and doing what I do, I tend to partner up a lot of times with a bunch of NIMBY people. You know what NIMBY is? Not in my backyard. People who have issues with things going in their backyard, solar, data centers, drug facilities, this and that, different things, factory, and just different things. And NIMBYs get a bad rap. I don't have a problem with NIMBYs. NIMBYs are important. The problem is, back when I was living in Winchester and I was fighting the mayor over there, Sean Byram, Democrat mayor, Republican council, and he was trying to set himself up to be anointed up by the Republicans as the Democrat who could go on to the state level. He wanted to be the District 33 state representative, and he needed the Republicans to like him to make that happen. So he made a deal with them. Okay. And that deal hurt the city and the citizens of Winchester. And I fought it. And then I was arrested for speaking in a meeting and all that crap happened. And then, excuse me, sorry. I'm so sorry. I try not to do that. And then I'm burning the candle at both ends. 2 years into that fight, and he starts doing something else in another part of town. And a whole bunch of people come to me and they say, hey, we need your help. We used to watch you fight the mayor and we thought you were nuts. And then we got to listening to what you were saying and we realized you were right, but we didn't come to help you because that was in your neck of the woods. It wasn't bothering us. What you were fighting wasn't about us. And we are so sorry. Now it's come to our neck of the woods and we need help. And I'm like, okay, cool. I don't hold anything against you. Welcome to the team. I'm here to help. How can I help? I want to be on your team. How can we help each other? Okay. That's how people think. People say, well, this isn't bothering me. Excuse me. Damn. People say, well, it's only going to charge me $16 a year. That's not a big deal. I can deal with that. Okay, right. Maybe it's not hurting you. Maybe it's not a problem for you. But the next time will be. The next thing will be. And like Kate said before she dipped out, we're starting off and they're already maxing this to the max. They could start off and ask for less. That's not what they're doing. They are taking this to the max straight out the gate. We've not even raised lit. I still think that's coming. Ryan Webb's pushing that. Everybody hates Ryan Webb. And yay, we beat Ryan Webb. Yay, we beat him. He's mean with his words and he says things we don't like and he makes me feel icky. And I think he hates black people, even though he doesn't. And I think he's a bigot, even though, honestly, if you knew him, it's a whole different thing. I know people don't understand that. Whatever. I'm not fighting that fight. I will tell you, that aside, he's been one of the best Delaware County counselors. The job in and of itself that Delaware County's had. I think David Williams is going to be a good counselor. I think we're going to have a good counselor, David Williams. But David's going to be one man. It's going to be just like Ryan. It's going to be 6-1, 6-1, 6-1. I think Ryan's right. I think they're going to raise lit. At least they're proving they're not conservatives. I don't know if there's a conservative Republican in Indiana. At least not that's actually in office. They definitely aren't libertarians. Okay, moving on here. I believe this is a notice of public hearing to discuss the tax increases. This is where we can ask questions and try to fight the taxes. It is. Let me be clear. I am afraid that they are going to try and say you have to sign up before 9 o'clock to speak. And they can't do that because this is a public hearing. Okay. So let me make sure we're understanding everything. So we're going to go to the meeting, and one of two things is going to happen. They're going to start the meeting, and they're going to gavel in. And right off the bat, they're going to say at 9 o'clock, this is a public hearing of the Delaware County Commissioners. So I'd like to bring this public hearing to order. And if they say that, then that signing up bullshit doesn't work. Because, and I'm going to tell you why, right here. Right here. Look, second paragraph, taxpayers under 2028, right in the middle. It says, taxpayers appearing at such hearing shall have the right to be heard thereon. Shall means must. It doesn't mean maybe. It doesn't mean if Shannon's panties aren't in a wad. It doesn't mean if you signed a stupid piece of paper at the beginning of the meeting. It doesn't mean if you have to show up at the beginning of the meeting. If the public hearing goes on for 62 minutes and you show up 58 minutes into the 62 minutes, you can speak because it says shall. And I'm letting you know, and I'm letting Shannon Henry know, and I'm letting Stephen Brand, and I'm letting Sherry Riggin, and I'm letting the Delaware County Sheriff's Department know. I am specifically not going to sign in before 9 o'clock. And I am going to attempt to speak. And if they stop me, they will have to arrest me out of the building. Because I'm done screwing around with Shannon Henry, and I'm done. Brand needs to get off his ass and come to the defense of the people that he used to speak to and say, oh, I'm a conservative. I believe in freedom of speech. I believe in not violating the Fourth Amendment. I believe in not violating your First Amendment. It's time for him to shit or get off the pot too. Okay? So that right there. And I will force their hand. Now, I'm not going to do anything violent. Everybody's going to be safe. I'm not going to resist or do anything stupid. But I am not going to allow my or other people's rights to be violated. I'm just not going to do it. Not going to do it. Okay? Taxpayers appearing at such hearing shall have the right to be heard. So if they start that meeting, think, we are starting a public hearing, then that's that. It's a public hearing, and we get to speak. And we get to speak until they close the public hearing. And they can't close the public hearing until all citizens who want to speak have been heard. Whether it takes an hour, 2 hours, 10 hours, 30 hours, whatever the deal is, they can adjourn it and we can come back the next day or a week from now or whatever. But the public hearing has to roll on. Now, that's the one thing they could do. They could start the meeting, think. We're going to open the Monday, May 18th, Delaware County Commissioners meeting, and it could be just their regular meeting. And then in the middle of their meeting, they could open the public hearing. And that's fine too. The same thing stands. But I'm afraid they're going to try to do something funky. So I'm telling everybody, it's what you're willing to fight. if you're willing to say, hey, I don't think I should have to sign up, because so I saw Karen say, show them the law. Okay. Well, the law is the First Amendment and the Fourth Amendment. That's the law. There is no specific law saying that you don't have to give your name or address. Okay. The Fourth Amendment says you don't have to give your name or address. The First Amendment says you have a right to petition your government and redress your government, Okay. That being said, public access laws and the laws of Indiana and the laws of America, the laws of the United States of America, have held that we do not have to give our name to address these people. Okay. I will tell you, I've had a couple people ask me, well, if they force this, what do I do? And I'm going to tell you the same thing I've told them. Give a fake name. Sign up on your paper and give a fake name. Art Vandelay, Benny Elroy, Jumpin' Jack Flash, Shannon Henry. Okay, whatever you want to sign your name up as, you don't have to give them your real name. What you do have to do, though, is remember your name, because I have had people that have went and signed up a fake name, and the meetings lasted like 3 hours long, and they've called through a bunch of names, and then by the time they get to that person's name, and the person's name's, Rhonda, and Rhonda signed up under Sally, and Rhonda signs up Sally, and then they call Sally, and Rhonda's like, well, that's not me. And then they're like, oh, Sally must have left. And then 5 minutes later, Rhonda's like, wait a minute, I was Sally. So you got to remember what you write down if you give a fake name. But there's nothing that says you can't do that. 1,200 people. I'll take 400. 400 would be fine. Everybody needs to give the free. Yes. Yeah, that's good. So listen, I just want you people to know that this is worth pushing back against. This is worth fighting for. This is worth standing your ground. And look, there are like 400 people that have responded to this. 400 people. And whose bright idea was this? What an effing joke. This administration is absolutely garbage. Just another way to rob the people. I said, well, Commissioners Sherry Riggin, Shannon Henry, and Stephen Brand. Anonymous participant says, all of those people are Republicans, I do believe. I'm sure Brand is the ringleader on this idea. Vote their asses out of office. I said, they all claim to be Republicans, yes. Okay. I like what Max said. When have you ever, and I mean ever, heard of a tax that's been levied and then rescinded or stopped? Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's not going to happen. That's what it says. Well, we're going to do this until we rescind it or stop it. No, when this is put in place, it'll be in place forever. Now, all right. This is perfect. Okay, because I do say that everybody has to live up to what they can do, and everybody has a job to do. All right. I'll say this is Lady Cap 777. Welcome to the show. Thank you for communicating with us. Lady Cap says, I'd like to go, but I'm disabled and I have issues walking, sitting for long periods of time. Listen, perfectly understandable. And I'm not trying to make you or anyone else in your position feel bad. Ma'am, I completely get it. And I'm sorry for that. My thoughts, my prayers go out to you. I hope that you're able to deal with that. But there's ways that you can still help, and there's ways that you can still participate. Number one, you can watch the live streamed meeting. The meeting will be live streamed. Okay. I will be live streaming the meeting live on my platform, this platform right here. So Monday morning, if you want to watch live, and you want to get the information live, you can come to this channel and watch it. You can also go to the Delaware County Commissioners YouTube page and watch it there, whichever one, as long as you watch it. You don't even have to watch it live. You could watch it on repeat a couple of hours later or a day later, as long as you watch it. But I will tell you, there are things that you can do, Lady Cap. What you can do is, you can share this video. You can share this link on your social media. You can tell people to watch it. You can hashtag 1,200 people. We need 1,200 people to show up at the meeting. And don't just hashtag that. You got to tell people what it means. You got to tell people what that means. We need 1,200 people to show up at the commissioners meeting on Monday. This coming Monday. Tell people to show up, okay? That is a must. That's we've got to get people there. We've got to have that happen. I can't express that enough. How serious it is that we get bodies there. We have to get bodies there. Good question, LaRue. Let me see. Oh, man. I knew. Man. And Kate just bowed out. Let me see. Give me a second. I'm going to do this thing here real quick because I want to make sure that people can see this, because this is the other way. I'll get right back to that, LaRue. I want to get back to that, but I want people to I want to be able to get this back to Lady Cap here. This is very important. Okay. Here we go. So, Lady Cap, the other thing that you can do, and this is real important, okay? Besides sharing this and sharing 1,200 people and telling people what to, where to go and what they need, you can also do something else that's very, very, very important, okay? And I'm going to show you right here. Use those email addresses, and you can email them. Shannon Henry's email address is shenry@co.delaware.in.us. All right. Sherry Riggin is sriggin@co.delaware.in.us. Okay. That's there. Okay. And Stephen Brand is sdbrand@co.delaware.in.us. You can email these people, and you can let them know that you're not okay with this. You can let them know that this is your thoughts, that you're against this, and let them know that you're not okay with what they're doing. And that should be good. And I would even tell them in the email that you want this read into the minutes of the meeting. You want your email read into the minutes of the meeting. Okay? I would highly recommend doing that. I think that would be a very good thing to do. And I would recommend, whether you go or not, I would recommend people email these people and let them know and say, hey, we're coming. I'm going to be there. And this is what I expect. Okay? That's very important. So that's something that you can do. I think that's a big thing. So I want people to be aware of that. So that's something you can do. So I appreciate your comment. Lady Cap. And like somebody said, you just being here and you communicating and saying things, you're doing more than a lot of other people doing, just doing that. So that's very cool. And I appreciate it. And I know that your fellow citizens appreciate it. Keep up the good work. And there's lots of things. And listen, I mean this very sincerely. And there might be times, and I want to take this time to say this. If anybody ever contacts me, they text me or they call me, and I come off as short, or I come off like I'm upset or like an asshole, I'm very sorry. I don't mean to be that. I try to do my very best to come off not like that, but sometimes the phone calls are a lot. But listen to me. Don't stop. I welcome people calling me. I welcome people texting me. You guys that contact me and tell me things, you guys that contact me and ask questions and we talk things, you are the backbone of this show. If I did not have the people that contact me, the sources that tell me information, and the people that brainstorm things with me and we troubleshoot things, this program would not be what it is, what it is. So I very, very seriously mean, and this from the very bottom of my heart, please understand that if you have a question, if you have a comment, if you have something that you need to know, if you need help, if you've got an idea, if you've heard something, you can text or call me. That's the studio line. Text or call me there. You can also email me here. That's my personal email. You can email the show, which goes to me, Kate, and Brandon. And you can email us here, tpsprogram@gmail.com. Okay. Obviously, you can hit me up on Facebook, on my personal Facebook. Send me a friend request and hit the follow. I can't accept any more friend requests because I've reached the limit, unfortunately. But I will tell you, anytime somebody drops me, or I don't drop people very often, but anytime somebody unfriends me, I do add the very next person in line. So you can send me a friend request, but just because you can't do that, you can still see everything. I'm wide open. So you can hit me up on Facebook, or you can Facebook the show there, and we will get back to you. So please always do that. It's never a problem for you guys to contact me. That's what makes this thing happen. So I appreciate you. Can we get tickets to watch live in the basement? Well, I'm telling you, I'm working on that. I'm working on like live. We had a live viewing the other day where we had two people here as guests, and that's the first time I've done something like that. So You never know. You never know. You know what we need to do really quickly? I need to take a second and get in a quick break for the ads. So give me 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back. When we come back, we're going to continue talking about this. We don't have any other topic tonight. We are going to continue talking about this situation, and I'm going to go on a little bit more and tell you some more thoughts I have here. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the Political Spotlight. This is episode 662, and we are talking about this possible new tax that the Delaware County Commissioners are trying to push on us. I want to go back and get LaRue. I think I saw somebody answer it, but in case they didn't, LaRue asked what the deduction was for 65 years of age deduction. You're not 65 years old, are you? Get out of here. You must be at least 65 years of age, own and live in the property as your primary resident, meet an income limit up to 60,000 AGI single, up to 70,000 AGI married, filing jointly. And it's $150. Starting the taxes due in 2026, Indiana replaced that deduction with an over 65 credit worth up to $150 off the tax bill directly. I'm not saying if that's a one-time deal or not. Did we get an answer on that? Is that a one-time deduction? I think it is. I think it is. I will look into that and I'll get back to you. See, with Kate being gone, it kind of throws me off a bit, but we do the best that we can here. We're trying to run a show here and get you guys answered as well. Okay, $75 a half. Okay, so 75 a half. That's shitty. It's crazy. And here's the thing. And we've got all these idiots running around at the state house acting like they've saved us. They've saved the Hoosier state because of Senate Enrolled Act 1, and we should be thanking them. And I'm telling you, it's all a big con. And I want to be honest. If we go back and we look at what happened in the primary just a couple weeks ago, it's so funny because everyone's saying, oh, look, those Republican incumbents that voted against redistricting, they got beat by the Turning Point USA crowd and Trump's people. And I'm like, I don't know if they got beat over that or if they got beat because they were involved with Senate Bill 1. See, although in the grand scheme of things, those things didn't happen at the same time, all right? In the eyes of the voters, it's the same thing because this is the first time they're voting since either one of those things happened. And I'm just going to be honest, but I believe if we polled the majority of Hoosiers out there and said, what do you care more about? Do you care more about your property taxes being out of whack and them trying to push more taxes on us? Do you care more about that? Or do you care about this dumbass redistricting bill? And I guarantee you just about anything that you could want to bet that hands down, people don't give a shit about the redistricting. And so we've got these people running around being like, oh, it's because Trump was supporting them, and it's because they went against Trump in the redistricting. No. Travis Holdman up in Jay County, Montpelier, where he's from, he got his ass beat, and it wasn't because of redistricting. Going back here, I want to find out where Matt Kantz is. Ryan Webb says, and this is very important. I want people to listen to this. The commissioners have already made up their minds about this tax. 2 of them are not running for re-election, and 1 of them was just elected. So I don't really see them changing their minds, no matter how many people show up to avoid their to voice their opposition. Not only that, if they truly wanted to receive feedback from the community, they would have made us aware of their plans without trying to sneak through the legal notice of the extinct Star Press in hopes no one would see it. Listen, I'll be real honest about this. I do agree. I do agree with a lot of what Ryan is saying there. I also believe if 1,200 people show up to that meeting, if people are hanging out the door when I get there Monday morning, they'll do whatever they'll do. It's like at that point, it's almost like I hate to use this. It's almost like strong arm robbery or something like that. You know, they'll do whatever they're told if 1,200 people show up. They just don't think that many people care, that many people are paying attention. That's the problem. And the truth be told is there's a lot of people bitching on here's what I'll tell. I'll learn Monday. We'll know Monday. This is not something that we got to guess on and not know. We will know if people are serious about this or if they're not serious about this. We'll know. Because people will show up or they won't show up. And like Alva said, there are, let's just say 110,000 people here. Out of 110,000 people, we should be able to swing 1,000 people at this meeting, 1,200 people at this meeting. That shouldn't be hard. Every meeting should be packed. Every meeting should have 60, 70, 80, 100 people in it. If that were the case, there wouldn't be a bunch of silliness. They wouldn't be doing all this craziness because they would know that they are being watched. Just letting you know. I want to pull up. It's frustrating because Kate and Brandon and I were talking about these in the chat, in our private chat. I'm going to try to pull this up here. Okay, I want to show you this. This is very, very big. And people need to understand this when they go to vote. Okay. I know we just did that. I know the election's over. But this is important. If a bunch of us gathered for the same cause, the government would create a list of us. Hey, I'm down. I'm down. I'm okay with being on the list. Gotta catch me, gotta find me. All right. I know that this is going to be hard for you to see, but I'm going to read it to you. This is from Matt Kantz. He is currently a Delaware County councilor, and he is currently running for commissioner. And he answers somebody that commented on here. If you are already at the 1% property tax cap rate, most likely if you live in Muncie and not rural county, then the Cumulative Capital Development Fund level is a small tax rate that is allocated and secured specifically and can be spent on nothing else. You may have heard in Delaware County alone, over $20 million in capital improvements are needed to mitigate issues with the county building and Justice Center, along with upgrades for public safety equipment, vehicles, and roads. For a home valued at $250,000, the average rate increase would be $83 a year for this CCD. All county and city residents should appeal their property tax assessments in the meantime, and if they do not contact you about the appeal hearing, keep hounding them. In Delaware County, prior to 2021, no meaningful increase in gross assessed value of properties occurred, and now we're paying the price. Okay, well, yeah, everybody needs to appeal. I agree. I get that. I do. He's right. Okay. But I got to be honest. $20 million in capital improvements are needed to mitigate issues with the county building and the Justice Center. The Justice Center is like less than 10 years old. It's a new building. I know it's not a new building because it was Wilson and Asons and things like that, but they reworked it and they did a bunch of construction, and we've paid a shit ton of money for that. Why do we need work already? That's just like in Henry County. I heard the other day in Henry County, the sheriff's department down in Henry County went to the commissioners and asked for money, almost like $10,000 for a new control unit that controls all of the doors, all of the locked doors in the jail. And I'm like, why? He's like, it's going out already. And I'm like, why is that going out? That they just build it. They built that even earlier, or it's newer than ours. They built that just like 3 years ago. What are you telling me that's going out and you need to buy a new one for $10,000? What do we need to do at the Delaware County Jail? I get there need to be improvements made to the county building, but we don't need those improvements badly enough that they need to raise our taxes. That's insane. Let me tell you, well, let me go on to his next comment here so you guys can be just as angry as we all are. So here's his next comment. Well, Karen comes back and says, from where I sit, the state does what they want and local government does what they want. How do we change it? Delaware County voted the corrupt politicians out only to replace them with politicians that are just as bad. What are we supposed to do? Where do we find politicians that serve the people and aren't self-serving? Nothing against you at all. JD says, locals must pay by the laws and rules the state set. Any effective solution begin and end there. Matt Kant says, who is corrupt in Delaware County? What? Bro, just knock it off with that, okay? Knock it off with that nonsense. So I just get really tired of Matt acting like it's just $83. It's not going to hurt me and my family. Okay. I get really tired of Matt and Brand and Ridenauer and the whole lot of them, Shannon Henry, saying, well, you elected us, so you put us here so we can make these choices. We don't want to hear from you. You can come out next election and vote for or against us, depending on what you think we did. And they just stay in power. They don't think they should answer any questions. They don't think they should be made to show their work. They don't think, they just don't think. That's the problem. Alva. It's so frustrating, man. Okay. Bear with me. I apologize. I don't have Kate. So I'm trying to get this stuff on the fly. Oh, God. And Matt Kance is talking about the circuit breaker. Like Kate said, I'm so tired of hearing about the circuit breaker. So someone named William says, I don't know the details about Delaware County, but what exactly are they doing wrong in your opinion? If it's taxes, there's a lot of recurring unneeded spending. My town has very little extra stuff, about $35,000 for parks on a $5 million budget. Police, fire, roads, employee salaries take up the money. I think before we say we need to throw them out, we need to help them with concrete suggestions on cuts or unnecessary expansions of government. Most town and city people I know are just trying to pay the bills. Matt says, thank you. Matt Kant says, thank you, William. Very few folks, one, want to provide any meaningful ideas on what services they would like to eliminate, or two, will run for political office to see the true nature of what local elected officials are up against. All right. That is my number one pet peeve. These people act like in order for you to have an opinion, or in order for you to dislike something they're doing, or in order for you to want to hold them accountable, or in order for you to just have an opinion that's different from theirs, you have to have ran for office, won, served a couple terms, and then got out before you can have an opinion. I'm sorry, but that's not how that works. We get to have an opinion. You can like it or not like it, but that's tough shit. Okay. I don't know what else to tell you about that. The other thing I don't like is this fear mongering. Ooh, what services are we going to cut? What services are we going to cut? How about just stop the wasteful spending? How about we figure out another way to get the bell 350 feet from one area to another area instead of paying $20,000 for it? How about we figure out a way to move a TV in a courtroom from one area of the courtroom to another without having to pay $15,000 to get it done? There are ways that we can cut waste and abuse, and we don't have to talk about cutting services. And the tax abatements and Ball State University paying their fair share would be a fine damn place to start. And I agree wholeheartedly. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And, you know, you're never going to get them to buy into that because they're in this delusion that they need more money. We need more money. We need more money. It's just like that situation. Rob Kendall just talked about it today, about back during the Senate Bill 1 when they were talking about the property taxes, and there was a township trustee saying, "Oh my God, they're gonna fix the property taxes. We're not gonna pay property taxes, and that means we're gonna have to lay off. We're gonna have to fire 7 firemen." And people are like, "Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. What are you talking about? We have to fire 7 firemen." And they got to pushing this person, and this person said, "Well, we don't have to fire anybody. We just can't hire 7 new people." What? This is how they look. They take, they use, they abuse, and then they repeat. And that's all it's about. That's all it is. And I'm telling you, we might not be able to stop this. They might have their minds made up and it might be too late. But I can tell you, we won't stop it if no one shows up, and we won't stop it if 5 people show up, and we won't stop it if 20 people show up. That's just not going to cut it. If we want any chance of pushing this back and holding the line, we have to have bodies in the meeting on Monday. And I know it sucks. And I know people are going to have to take off work. And I know there's no way around it. There's no other way around it. You got to be at the meeting on Monday. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. I'm going to tell you, tomorrow's Friday. We generally would not be here on Friday. I will be here tomorrow. I normally would not be here, but there is a meeting tomorrow at 1 p.m. In Henry County at the election board in the clerk's office at 1 p.m. And so I will be monitoring that. I will be there. I will be there at that meeting. We are going to watch them. They will be certifying the election. And then it's basically a countdown to find out if one of the candidates from Knightstown is going to file a petition. And hopefully we'll see what goes on there. With that being said, I look for tomorrow's meeting to go relatively smoothly. I don't see it or foresee a big problem coming, so I'll keep you guys posted. But because of that, we will be live tomorrow night because I want to go through that, and I want to use this time to talk a little bit more about this and get people fired up to go to Monday's meeting. So we will be here. It might not be a long show, but we will be here for at least a little bit tomorrow night at 9 p.m. So tune in. We will be here. Then we'll be off Saturday, and we'll be back Sunday. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you have any more questions or comments or thoughts about this, please get in touch with me. We will probably talk about this again a little bit tomorrow. I'll try to do some different things, and maybe Kate will be back by then. And then Sunday, we will talk about this again Sunday because we're going to want to push the people to go there. But I want everybody to remember, contact these people, call them, send them the messages, email them, do what you've got to do. We can make a dent, but we've got to get the word out. Share this show with everyone you know. Help spread the word. If you could, I would be so kind and happy if you'd go through and like this episode. Like it. If you have not subscribed, consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything. Just hit the subscription button on YouTube. Click the bell so you get notified when we go live, and do all of that stuff. I would greatly appreciate it. Share the episode with your friends and family, your neighbors, people from Delaware County. Help get the word out. And then use social media, 1,200 people. Tell people to watch the show. Tell people to go to the meeting on Monday. Give people a little bit of background and let them know what's going on. That's how we're going to come close to changing this. I do, really quickly, as we're ending, want to say, if this goes through, there is one last fail-safe to try to fight, one last Hail Mary that we can use to attempt to fight back against it. And I will go into a little bit more detail on that tomorrow and Sunday. But that's filing the remonstrances. We have to have 25 people do it. Those 25 people have to file it a certain way. You can't just say, hey, I don't like this, or you can't just write an email. You have to file it a certain way, and we can help you do that. And you have to be property owners in Delaware County, and they always will throw a couple names out. So if it says we need 25, I say we need 75, 100, 150, just to be careful. And so we'll go over that a little bit tomorrow. So we've got some options, but we are really up against it. It's crunch time. So keep that in mind. You guys have a great rest of your evening. God bless each and every one of you. Take care. Have a good night. And we will see you back here for a special Friday night show. Take care and God bless.